Hello, beautiful people. All right, so today I'm going to go through how to make this hair into something like this. So let's get started. Okay, so first of all, you don't want this. You're going to change your base of hair into transparent. Now she's bald-headed. Okay, and then you want to basically draw in some baby hairs. So for that, you would go into like face texture, and then here you would add in a new layer. It'd help if I clicked onto the actual right thing. So you would add in a new layer, and then you would just draw in your hairs. And however you want them to look. Obviously, change your brush size and figure out which way you want the hairs to go in order to get the look you want. Wow, great. Look, she has baby hairs all the way down. Beautiful. Then next you want to do your own hair texture, or you can go to Stir's video. I'll leave a link in the description for that, and they provided a beautiful hair texture for curly hair, so which would look somewhat like this. So now when you start drawing, so it should look like this picture up here. So the easiest way to make pigtails with Vroid is to turn on the mirroring tool and zoom up. Kind of just create these shapes. Obviously you can change the thickness to however you want it to be, to make it thicker or chunkier. I don't know what happened here. Usually what had happened was I wasn't angled at the right position, you know what I'm saying? Okay, anyways, we got a heart. That's a beautiful look. It's a great look for her. Yep. So basically you do that all the way down. And then when you're trying to create that look on the side, so kind of like this, what I did originally, I used the same brush tool. Thought a spider web just touched my hand. Kind of freaked me out. I used the same hair texture, sorry, and then just made it way thinner. And then I kind of just go like so. So you play around the thickness. Obviously, if you have mirror, it makes it so much easier because then you don't have to worry about it. Alright, so now it's a speed montage of me actually making the hairstyle for the actual character, for the client. So as you can see, I kind of just left a tiny section of the base because I was thinking of maybe having that like blue hue because I kind of liked how that looked. So I just erased like the corners and kept it really close to the hair texture itself, and then just so that way the blue would show through the hair. So as you can see, that's how far I got at the beginning here. And then I, instead of wanting it to go down her back, I decided that I kind of wanted to go over her shoulders, you know, just kind of give it a different look. Because I mean, if it's behind her back, no one's really seeing it all that much, and there's not really much going on in the front of her face other than those baby hairs. So I decided to make it go down her chest there. I really hope that it's okay that she's not really wearing anything because I left it like a Barbie doll and I totally forgot to put clothes on the character when I was doing this. Anyways, so right here I'm trying to go over like the scalp. Not scalp, like I was saying, like the hair around the head and leading into the braids. So at this point, I honestly wasn't sure what I was going for. I just knew that I needed to make that kind of structure shape, and I was like, I have a lot of ground to cover. What am I doing? So in a way, if I were to redo this, I probably would change how I started that section off. But yeah, you basically just draw in the hairs, find an area that you want to kind of like have it as your parting line. I was still at this point, clearly I was trying to figure that out. At this point is when I kind of saw a shape and structure forming for the hair, and I started to like what I was seeing, and then I just kind of just kept going with kind of like an S wave shape structure for the hair. So I just kind of kept going that all the way down. So basically having that blue tip being the indicator of where your scalp would be displayed. So I just had to play around with like the hiding and the mix match. Yep. Well, we're just gonna listen to some sick beats as we do this. Oh yeah, also when I was making this, I definitely used two different freehand layers, because you don't want to do the freehand layer of the hairs in between the braids on the same layer as the braids, because you kind of have to move it around and shape it to their scalp, keep it really close onto their scalp. Versus the braids, I'm getting it going over her shoulder, so obviously you want that to be a different structure. So keep that in mind. Try not to keep them all in the same framework. There's so many times during this project I thought I messed this up and would have to start over again. So if it takes you a couple of tries, that's completely normal. Not everything takes you first shot. I mean, unless you're like a wizard. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I just did the same thing all the way to the back of her head and then down the sides. Yeah, so this is the end result. So as you can see, I got the braids going all the way down to her chest. Did the blue streak things in the middle and on the sides of her hair, and I kept the actual braids itself like a dark blackish brownish color. Simple. Keep it simple. All right, and then this is the end result. So I made the braids smaller, and then I got them to go all the way down to her chest. Don't mind her white eyes, because that's how the client wanted them. So if you're wondering how I got it to look blue in the center, so I had a second hair texture. So the first one, this is the one with the blue. So I kept a bit of that base layer, the original hair, the default hair that Vroid comes with, and I kept it kind of really close to these ends here. You can see that there. And then, or I could just do this. So I kept this here. So this is what you're seeing. That's why it has that blue, because it's taking up the color of this. With this being like that, it looks really creepy. It looks really strange. And then once you add in back that, it gives it a nice cool look. And I just thought it was more entertaining to look at, with having that cool like blue highlight going down her head. And then you play around with the boning of the hair. One thing before I go into the bone works of that, to pay attention to is like when you're using this hair texture, if you're using this one, it gives you like the curly effect only on one side of the hair for some reason. I don't know. Vroid just decides that it's going to flatten, or did I change the different hair texture I used for this one? I can't remember. Nope, use the same one. Yeah, for some reason, as you can see on this side here, like you can see the curliness, like your hair is kind of like fraying where you have like Afro-textured hair. And then on this side, it's like nice and smooth. I don't know why Vroid decides like, okay, well, we're not gonna make you curly on the other side, but we'll only give you curliness on one side. So yeah, that's one thing to pay attention to. So if you're trying to get that curliness, you kind of have to change your brush strokes. So I didn't realize that before. So if you would have to go up and then down, if that makes any sense. But if you don't really care, then yeah, you can just keep it like as that. But yeah, bone work of the hair. So you basically click on every single strand going up to the hair that you want for it to be able to move, and then change your structuring. So I only wanted it to move from like off the collarbone area. Yeah, and I did that with both of them. I think this one goes a little bit higher. So then when the character is running, walking, or doing something, it should move. So with walking, it kind of clips through her chest, but that's okay. Running, it just flaps around. But yeah, that's how you create hair like that in Vroid. Hope that helps.